Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Dialogue with the Youth. So on Gunjur Online TV, I am again with your presenter, Mr. Ebrima Janneh Janneh. Today is Wednesday, another program on Dialogue with the Youth. So the date is 11th of November 2020. The time in England, United Kingdom, in Leeds is about nearly 5 minutes past 7. The time in the Gambia is about 5 or 6 minutes past 6. And Eastern time in America is about 5 or 6 minutes past 2 o'clock. Our topics today is what is responsible for social deprivation of many of our youth in the Gambia. This is an important program. This is an important topic. To discuss this topic today, we have our own Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh. Amadou Scattred Janneh is a household name in Gambia and Gambian politics. Mr. Janneh is a doctor of political science on top of many, many degrees. Mr. Janneh is a lecturer, is a teacher, and is a youth activist, a human rights activist, an environmental activist, a political activist, former Minister of Information in the Gambia, and a towering entrepreneur. And you can see from his background, he's still on his business. And this will be a yardstick for our youth today. If we know what Dr. Janneh will explain what he is doing, we can see behind the scene. This is a sumptuous CV, and we're going to say etc. because if we want to prolong or elongate Dr. Janneh's profiles, we will be here the whole day. Welcome, Mr. Janneh, to Dialogue with the Youth Show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to this program, and I'm glad it's coinciding with me doing a lot of stuff here, loading a container and stuff. But I'm very glad, I'm very grateful to you for giving me this opportunity.
Yo mbadi ngole mbali tentula mbali jayi lambali bisimla lamba fulale assalamu alaikum mbali bisimla la Dialogue with the Youth nim funding kele ka kacha minken ka ke Gunjur Online na TV le to la television o mi ya lon ka be fonyo kon bimu araboleti karo tilitan kili November karo tolla England jang tolbe Leeds sa tele to time obe daming tala wora la tambita domanding Gambia ngamira tala woro tambita domanding and America ngamira be salfana wato fanan tambita domanding talam fula bimbe kacha min kala na nyin Dialogue with the Youth so ning funding kel kacha min ke wala mu funding kele problem jamale soto wala mu ela drug quality bika do quality soto ela prison quality anen ku jama mi ya lon kay funding kele ay la quality en ma baba tele na bankoli kan bimbe wala kachala mine ke wo sabu mina sabu wo bi mi sabu nyim funding kele jamalo bebe siri man ko tay wol sabala na doli nyali be mala doli be dum prison o kon nimbe nyen discourse la wala mu fanko tomati o ngamira Gambia amanjara pour ay avant introduce wala nga introduce barbutu wo nyimunda adoleti momo na tan se fendim foyima Dr. Scattred Janneh Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh Gambia fewo fe muku kendoti abe wala koto karandi roto wo ka fonninkeli mako elo kana denden wol tankandi lomwo ka molla nyanto kele pour la nyanto e sabati banko kan fo bota man sakundale fo bota nyaadile ate ko wosi falle kele so mba bismillah la nyim programme oto ani mol no be mini ya lonko e bebe la moyro la na raboy la kendol ka bonjan dunia karo mu le be la Gambia Dr. Janneh be bismillah la once again.
Baraka bake Ebrima an content bake la ligne opportunity min din pour Canadien nal jiber la moyr la li kacha lafta kala lenun juna yang invite lenun bara manna kano bari ala baraka nyimu opportunity balet in dumbal ten kulambal jayil.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Mostly kujama games are challenge se fengoli for bari Gambia no la platform to bigger prison kuo maje and no prison mu here game hidden population net in the Gambia mobile kumo for funding kudo keta mo killing data je ngamira kabira bondita mai fati in tata prison o kono kabira bonda prison kuo buka o moy bake o yalong ane media andung bawo Gambia funding kelle siaga nearly keme taworo nyonga be funding kelle temi yalon ko sanjo be kabiri sanji kilim fo sanji tansa batinan so ni wolo mo Gambia la population la o demography bigi so wodo salon ko prison fanan kono funding kelle nyanta siala ge dan ke baliti so now it inene tata jele unfortunately but which is a badge of honor because a brutal dictator wala kele fo itunta wodulato unjustly and the most to la mi ya lon ko nase nyin kachano pour ninkel jannim bitala follow prison auto fond je abe nyaadi le pour je explain nyala ya contextualize nyani fonding kel be nyaadi le wo prison ko no dindingol youths
prison ko koleata bakele fortunately ita fana bango ya attempt le num pour kanan jube birimbe bambadinka so ye idea sotole problem o dol minnu bije hani ila family members pour yeneje kane visit je aka koleale pour ila loyal yena keje wo fana ka koleale bari domoro nyin kan jama mam falinge son se mim pa benu nyami nim falin olom ko prison population o nyinga talata le kendeke amansia momansia je kwa benu nyami bari hanim bi kolbe koleari ne domoro nyin ma kolea ko ka siaje manu benketen mo jama bije ka high blood pressure develop wo prison toje dol bije ka stroke soto mainly because of ka domor sifa min domoje aning boro soto ka kolea minimum political prisoner de pour kata hani lopana ka kolea bari nim momu mi ya long ikoya jamebe hamerin nui kama bake iko wolle samba bambadinka wolle fanala kuol ka kolea katambi mo beti dobi je la loyeta je la no family members kuo kolea ta je bakele dula kandita ntebe min dami nga beni susula lomo wol jama ba man falin hanimbi amunta ye koy min fo manyanga nyina prison kuola mol talata jelede aning ko buter bali kaminu kenunje woman soto sanyi bar hansa in prison be koleari na ni ya fo nyami fonding kelle ka siaje ise dol mutaje sanji jelu pour ye tayle mutebulu janni bitala kiti wala aseme dol bije se hani courant develop wo wato kona tare me try follow so fenyen takela lengan na luwalu falling ni ya lonko na funding kelunte kala kebe warehouse or prison fabe kela training opportunities leti warrante sentences dolunga jidembe kela nyaming ke something light that way kata time utamo buliake prison aitaje fa courant development batina itafa bari prison ko koleata bari te fa ya jel hani buko ya bondinye na UK ya na tinambamba dinka ya murundi control bibla because ya je ko wol manyan kala fenti nyanta mi read.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yes, I'm a live witness to that, and it's so sad. Jannim bitala prison population or prison for example, Gambia mile 2 womu dulaleti mi ya lonko ya build pre-colonial institution la conditions imanyan bimbe bitilo min to dindi manyan na lalaje bari statistics jibe kam Amnesty International ya file just among May 2018 2019 e ko dindi wol mi yanko be sanji tan ni lulu kata sanji mu wonde na keno keme tan saba tan lulu nin saba that's about 53%. Almost first offender solid. Yeta, we be remand ye today. It kola yeta ye samba kijola to firing je, and secondly obije tied ye wala obije, ye molla all the here and there ye two so mixing which offer enough and some problem that we will come into
yes. But Anita Gambia Janneh ko Joswang prison ya long juvenile prison o nyimbe waleto bari nita ta jiaje dindingo sipal minu bulaje aning ya fo ye mutamin kameka jakalile because ni o time be keje ila karango ka loosely do once inata ko molie je ko imunum prison aleti hani ke ka do ko so to fa ka koleal aka ke stigma leti mi yala ka lasle fo and nin ko ke sambale pa ke train ka fenke je mechoni was efisia bari ke tale dorong basically ye warehouse ge do ni nata fontina wolle kana laban ye ke repeat offenders ni kata adults ni so amanke solution if I fenyini ka dindingolu train ka alternative soto mimmanke katake mabo prison.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. Once again, our listeners all over the world, what we are discussing today on Gunjur Dialogue on Gunjur Online, our program Dialogue with the Youth. So, is we are asking questions what is responsible for the social deprivation of many of our youth in the Gambia. Because Gambia is a very youthful population. About 62% of our people, the young people, are underemployed, not even employed. That's the rough statistics. And most of our youths end up in prison because of drug addiction, because of other issues, petty stealings, and here and there. But it seems our political leaders have no solution to how to harness this youthful demography and turn it into an economic dividend for the country. Instead, what we do is to imprison them, not rehabilitation, no prevention, no nothing, but just to pile them into prisons. Some of them will languish in prison for long time, pre-trial, remand, which is unacceptable. So to discuss this problem, I'm here with Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh, who once ago stood against a brutal dictator in the Gambia, and he ended up being wrongfully imprisoned. So even in prison, most of the vital information to Amnesty International, to everybody outside, he was the champion to use that information so that we could know what. Bro, I'm saying for population or to water lateral demanding, ngamer officially the capacity, I reduced telephonially about 650 something now, but it used to be about triple of that, overcrowding in quality. But other than that, fenjama fanama happened since Ninata Jela, Prison Kutoli Koibe Lola, Mobu Cafe Moije, and there are no institution Puruka Dinding ka skill dealer into prisons, currently put is a skill only, so that Nina from that mistakes, they can come out better, but no. Nobody need a prison, what all of them back because they become traumatized, society stigmatized them, and for a balu, for a lively and we saw last time, because most of the time it is the philanthropics and the NGOs, Minika Domoro Samba Prison, Kamol Mako, Janila family mall, and Ngajele Ikawo Jamake, Watini Wati Kamano Sambaje. Do you think Kujama change it ajele, ila observation since it
well, you mean for thing, prison act mean ya long officers kawale use puri ka pengol min beke je mi ya long ko since colonial era le ya longing pass hanim bi wole ka prison run so ni man visitation on lapa right now visitation on every 3 months inmates in 30 minutes dorong itole dealer family visitation womu penet mi ya long since the colonial era long so ngata for 2020 kapo ko law min bije birin colonial era ma falino jamme pana e bon boje wo used to to his advantage jamme boje first thing minyan akela wolom ko prison act bondije that way most visitation soto ko banku kotengola ka kenyami that way ning domoro pana tolma min provide no because ima resources so ni molla friends and in families ko be chip in la woman yankela problem to barika for luama allow man sense make of course our prison population on yinkwa for nyami ajitale kendeke because the political prisoners minubula and stuff like that but other than that the same buildings it can be used wole bije the same domor fenko nyinne bije domoro ka improve ta barimalla improve ta bake andung hanim be access to medical care mu problem already. General population of our clearing will be the prison. So get a major disappointment let it kajeko jamme boje ngapalingo soto 3 years into it. Na manke prison population of Katala problem all be to inyam. Andung ning remand pana jube wo problem all hansanyim because remand ikamol kejele sanji jelu ila trial ol katu delay la ajube doron hani gunjur pango nga case min file in relation to golden lead hanim bi abe on so ika jelen tolbe frustrate nyami be banta sakoye momi muta ye detain iko ite bulala ko ila trial o bang ning conditional so doku bale bije minyan takela ndum ko ya fo nyami aka youth nyonle affect much more than any other group group in the population because nita remand equal letter faringe tep nita hani general prison population younger folks like Katarajo.
Yeah, it is sad, the prison conditions in the Gambia is desperately poor. And but before we go further, now Giberola, Fondoma, Mr. Toure, Sulatu, and Yesuma, be content of arms, and Abe content of
okay, I'll say how to occasional noise in the caring. Na noisy tabake kajelen katara move la because the program on the activity can baringa mira beti atale purila moli aje ko US anim banku kotengol lafta minna Gambia wolom opportunity minnu kasoto jan ani a PhD le soto emu professor ti ni extra time soto ipangola own businesses are set up later kan bari Gambia abe nyami hani sawarte lafta do ko kala fenti je ibika lebe for government ye environment create more ye min ya long ko se do ko keno fama right now be daming the container load kan be bengol kala pour que ship to the Gambia bari pen jama be ngalon ko man futa ko bari pour ka explain panami atin na noise nim pengol ben ko ma jantote.
Yeah, that's good. Malanjiba fanang, kotoke afanang be kontona, apply come mol be jibe contanta program coming for you so le dorong moment in the give up la. Hanin taran mo jama safo ko yes mbela responsibility lo mbela responsibility lo. At the end of the day, the buck has to start with the political leaders. Because sembo means soto mo be ke la koloni la sembo mo me be leta nga be kafundinyola either in the way of tax in the way of business so ke la mammango banko kan wolom economic activities ti pour ibita do mo sanne be mano sanna wo be aka rivolle ay murum bakto ko men na kofa kon so mo be la femola definitely nka problem o face modol blame nya at the end of the day morning government kannano mote morning mansakunda kannisa Mazakunda le sembo soto kalua dada anika enforce. mansa kundale sembo soto pour kan economy fananta yata kala nyami ya ke wonyama mansa kundale sembo soto kamos prison ke bondi banta yedundi yesindi dulakili yela activities obe kuntu mansa kundale wo sembo soto ide woni ordinary people ni ordinary family ni ordinary community na le ka foko be la responsibility lo man all those things mo man nyana wol blame le nyanta mansa kundale blame la force and force
because where environment create me ya means atina mo se wuli no iko hani man sakunda doku ke ebo school ebo university imanta sile konkata office doku la because opportunity jamal bijete pense doku create no molie bari ning ye kuol kole andi hani ka business register kole ata fengo feng for edukurolu ke aning ye min long and stuff like that oka tinale youngsters nyolu se minnu keno etaka hani nkanyim fishery school minnu be janni bita license dealer foreign trawlers la ninga invest mfango nga trawlers soto young people your companies nyolu manage me along as a partnership the private public partnership you know na mol betar la do ko la mfango la fish by exploit la be mi use la nga use min the export la so one example let bari for government ya create you know environment yin create abikole ni te se la korda nyima lono ise hani sola keje tengo be keje barni silo be tuta tinyari loptanol ma tenke ite be mine nola no ni sata ite sambale fansu hospital ite bole la korda nyima te fansu mano ke sambadulal be so wale atina individuals akata nyawnya for government ye environment yin create means atina more basic anyato especially the young ones.
Yeah, especially the young one. We have to harness the youthful demography, the, you know, dividend that Gambia have in order to develop that country.
Yeah.
We cannot do that without leadership. We cannot do that without investment. Janim bita nyato bro Amadou Touré mfamo bita mabe kondona lamin keresanya Janneh dalaba lodge avanan be kondona
Omar bita mpana ajeja.
Omar Punda Vanambe Kata Vanambe Kontona, you know, semester. I have a regiment also you and say, you know, teacher say hello for me. So more be content. You know, I think Doctor deliberately did this Katandi funding even though he's a doctor, you know, a lecturing in myriad of universities and colleges to America. But I feel like in a warehouse container below La Kolkata, Gambia. Not only, you know, to be creative, but employment of an create because now kita nya nini container for the Gambia killing more 1 or 2 people will be employed for a family wafu security in family so you know being toward direction civil talent kana false impression they did you know because nindi nimol ikana jeko you know nindano ni jita karamoda and I have a very very interesting statistics there me lonko unemployment rate among the so-called educated people is nearly about 10 or 20 times more than who are not educated. Because minimum educated, will be siko ikadoku, but wala kata samado la itabali to itabe finger raba la karadola molo ya and all those things. So funding kill it doesn't mean you get a grade 9 or grade 12. You know, ebe go but la doku tije it's a new mean trial to put your hand on this on the job. But government has to be in the forefront. You know, bro. Yeah, as far as we say, new prison or prison na funding killing community blame. You know, about a soul about a community letter. Dolini GB, a very, very poor background, sort of single more role model, soul falni, bali be fatally, dol groom tas but prison the justice system will be put into account. It will gala fimin na wrong funding kili ye nyine kedoro ye fadini marto la ngetangi mabu. You know, work up very, very, very negative, you know, progress and society is not progressing, you know, and I think the criminal justice system academic treat nyamin, you know, work out about instead of juvenile facilities or lawyer, you know, where it's a skill train, where it's a community sentence in Kudo, but no, KB ta kenyoku prison or kono prison me ya long severely overcrowded. ventilation today is very infectious. Modoli ni dunta ni jine nu kuran jaw mi ko finti ko kuran fanam best press society kono. Doctor, what is your take on that?
Well, a bit at and at a for government, because prison population and in prison conditions, employment opportunities, and in Kamol encourage fana koni but a school, manke kwenyenta tala lesi office. What be role lomi along for government ye leadership taje, for government ye leadership taje, and also to mini along the political will sort of pur kawoke. Individuals are katale ko ibe minke kantenting is an important part of it. Purka more educate ka information or put out ka tandila prison conditional benyami minyanta kela pura falling ka for funding kel pana ni bota school ikana discourage ya mira ni manta office otodoro dol bije nga situation or jele mi ya long ko modol bije hani be jola have is a means sotoni data firola bari ko ibe office le title dealer ibota school ibe ole prefer because ya foko nyimbe nyi ministry karile waranta munyin directology wole kumayata mo jamae dan kaje be fenna mi ya longa be more income generate. So nyimbe information ka put out ka mol educate keneke ka the youth population ka tandila the importance of working hard farm government farm office or not are important. But mim kumata beti wolom koka pressure ke government kan puri conditional ke miya tina mol lafta minula hamo mu ka community ni yela karangol bay la training ol bay sa so kono but ni woman ke abe koleala bakel.
Yes, ni woman ka be koleale. Thank you because leadership kumayata baba bakele. I think the book has to start with the leader. Not only the leader is being paid from our taxpayers' money, from our sweats, from our work, all over the place. That makes leaders. No wonder leaders will come from nowhere at all. I'm saying, I have to emphasize this. And within 5 years, they are very rich. They are even richer than the country and all those things. If you see that, know that those leaders are feeding on our sweats, that's why we have to put the leaders accountable, because other places, the youth, they are not better than us. But what they have a system, they have leadership that create the environment, enabling environment for them to gel, for them to prosper, for them to go. And sadly, anytime you say these things, people will say this is politics and all those things. But politics rules our life. Politics is not politics because of by itself is just sitting in a vacuum. Politics is there because we are financing it. We are doing our sweats and we are dying all over the place. For example, me sitting here, you here, working, doing all kind of menial jobs sometimes. The money that you send, the tax that comes from that money contribute to the financing of the government. And the government, what they do is to squander them. That's why we will always going to refer to government. We're not going to shy away from mentioning the responsibilities of our government, to put them, to hold them accountable. Once you leave the government, we don't care about you. But when you are in the government, managing our affairs, we are going to mention you. Doctor, we said this criminal justice system is treating the kids unfairly. But how near the prison for Nankono? The vocational training system, there's no parole board. Me along kabidino monitor la yejibe prison o kone yapo. Wow, Nindong is doing well. Nga jibe abekela nyadile. Mfawala chairman of Anambia Konton na Bamfa Jete leads la chairperson na Kafo Bimbijang. Alina Alpha Balom Konton na Baba ke program o la yalo. Yeah, so nying juvenile delinquencies and incarcerate, for nothing. Dobi je you send pocket mobile mobile kill yo samba prison kono and inajina water la yala
abikole ko ka mall warehouse jele doron ko ka pe mota warehouse o te amaboje ni wato min nyen bon condition so Gambia na prison system contribute better in society. the same thing over and over again. So wale bem kanala jana. Ni tata banku dol to vocational training katarajene ni by the time you instance dol ni funte they are in high school, you know, certificates totally while in prison. So, you know, one problem.
Yeah, that's
definitely change. 500.
Thank you.
500.
Thank you.
500.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Sometimes il a fait encore break, but it's okay. And Natalie say finally walk my atale. And yeah. Doctor is breaking. You know, say Natalie again. Yes, you know.
Okay. Okay, maybe in the area.
Yeah. Yes, it is breaking. Yes, you know, the network problem is breaking and yeah, once again, doctor is going off. And yes, yeah, doctor, you breaking anyway. The family, you know, doctor. I think you know what we were talking about, you know, in the Gambia is the what is responsible for the social deprivation of our many of our youths in the Gambia. This has been a problem, and prison has been a blind spot. You know, anytime somebody is in prison, what we focus on is on the crime. You know, they have to be locked them and all those things. You know, we don't even assess. You know, what is the weight of the crime that they do, the crime that they commit. Does it warrant for them to be locked or for them to be, you know, kind of, you know, maroon in a remand wing without trial for a long time? Sometimes, you know, people will spend more days and years and months in remand wing than even their own, more than even their own sentences, you know, which is a sad thing. And we have to put pressure on government, you know, because normally the mental health, you know, the prisons, people don't talk about them. That's why we are bringing some of these blind spots that people are not talking about. They are hidden population, you know, but, you know, no country can develop if their prison system is as how Gambia's prison system is. And if we have a government that is having all these resources squandered on cars, on pageantries, on luxuries and all those things, and our prison populations are dying because of malnutrition, and anybody can fall victim and be a prisoner tomorrow. It's just like disability. At some point in your life, you are likely going to be disabled, you know, and the same thing happens with prison. Either you or your extended families or your immediate family might fall victim to prison. So we need to converse. We need to project our voice so that we can have a better prison system. That mile to prison is not fit for purpose. Nobody should be there. You know, doctor, education remains the biggest challenge by all measures, you know, with qualities being low and little, you know, improvement, you know, across the country, especially for our girls and women, you know, and you cannot go forward. You can't, you know, because when you have insufficient, you know, access to knowledge and skills, you know, information, you know, competitively also, both nationally and internationally, you know, you will not go anywhere. But look at the, you know, because the results only there's only, you know, according to them, 50-something% that Mali are passed, and we are jubilating that. Should that not be a sad commentary, you know, on that society? You know, go ahead. What do you think, you know, about the education?
Well, it's very sad indeed, especially for those of us who know the types of opportunities our kids have in the West. They have access to tablets and you know, high the class teacher student ratio is very low. They take extreme care of the kids and make sure they're educated. The environment is very conducive to learning. And then those are the things we want for our country. Of course, we may not have the resources to buy tablets for every kid that's going to school, but at least to have qualified teachers, to have learning materials, to have, you know, electricity so that the kids can have clean water to drink even at the schools. Those are basic stuff that, you know, we don't have. And there's no excuse for that in the 20th century, in 2020, to have, kids not, having access to educational materials, sometimes even, chairs and tables to use, teachers underpaid and, lacking motivation. It's very unfortunate. And we expect those kids to take level Benjamin, get our Gambia the same grade. You check and see their reading level, their proficiency in English or math or whatever. It's very sad indeed. If I compare what my daughter is doing at the 6th grade to what these folks are doing in the Gambia, and it's no fault of theirs. The government has a responsibility to make sure that we have qualified teachers, to make sure that they have furniture, that they have drinking water at the school, that they are fed, they don't go hungry while trying to attend classes. So it's rather unfortunate.
Yeah, it is rather unfortunate. It is so sad. Anyway, Sal Cham, thank you for all your points. It's a good point. Sal said even harder in the streets. Don't even mention incarceration, neither healthcare services. So it's just a country littered with failures, and failures and upon failures and upon failures. And most often we are hard on ourselves. Anytime we say we're not doing this, families are not doing this, communities are doing, kids are not doing this, and we always tend to absolve. Okay, tolbondi pool van kono len dola kam fon le blame all the time, but it can realize ko man sakunda ko kodi wo kodi soton dolle kan no do man dingol mi ya lon ko mon ni la fuaria nyawnya inon dolle ka wol katange kafundi nyo kan nge di wo man sakunda because doctor is about 58% of the population are under the age of 25, but imagine 43.9% of youths are underemployed or unemployed as of 2019. So nothing changes that much, and maybe it is increasing. Those are, yes, go ahead.
It's the same when you meet out around. Groups of youngsters be searing, that's throughout the day. And for afternoon, long, morning, evening, there be groups of people legend me along Mantara do Kukam. So wohani man scientific polls or anything. It's a form of observation about Tandile la komo jamale bijemi alon, they are not doing anything productive. But if ana ikadolje kato beke do cool nini, they're ready to take even below what you would consider minimum wage even in the Gambia. But kurka sort of kake do cool. Dolka wakil do cool kesaje jama by bike joa nyama. Bari niye fonyo ke mira hani ka domandingo min soto je janni bita fall. So nin si ba be caring, nin high rate of unemployment be caring, ibe mol jola, very low. Aka environment of an create mean katin kamol exploit. Ibe desperate to find work to an extent min don't say tight tarle jole nyam ware tarle jola from ngole soto Gambia. Nin mol jakalita it ila suo konela dimba tuje iman depanso so tebe min dilel ibe konkore iman ta sila reko evenkete wale batin na moy wakila ay pensunya ay tapaleke ay na say pour kala mol feed asatara wo maria manke ko sumno mu tradis bari jakalole atin yoning government operate pour ka crime fight ka ben kolke ani nyimbele kata nyol where kata mol ise do ko sotono youngsters nyolu is a karano ye the necessary training so the me alo need ata do ko le productive but ni molman do ko so to molman tara karan kan anyama konko be kering bata be kering then do ita blame la aita pura sunyar dinke pura la mo fi dan ay siaje fo efa so home extreme example bari ifemo bele katanyol karan di ro mol training minu kana kuya ke ni dun prison.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And doctor, sometimes youth will blame, nga foko manson samadola manson tala badato and all those things, but statistically mole min kata wo samadola musol le siata je about 90% of musol wolle be badato, and although it will be kata ba kono bari nyinye farol ni nyeja ni femgo wolle kake anim farmers sol min ya no ka farming ke common sa for land man tara water as, so we will talk about that, but wollo among the poorest people in the society, youth will be yes summer school, ima any investment on agriculture near do ko fananke ila products will be sang, and the man storage finance to be tinya le bulo kono. There's no encouragement for more leta auto, isa youth so la go siri leta do ko and all those, but youth jama land van te bulo ko hanni land be minni bulo ko back to la jorantije bonni minni fananko ya try ya do ko ke ye do mandingo min soto ni abasano government asano market mantaraje fe mantaraje, and most of our poorest people are in those industries, either fisheries lomu or agriculture. So it a mon push la water, but naturally ne investment ke water, for example ni nyambo or fenke dada ni wo higher price soto mo goes there because more be it pays. When it doesn't pay, and government seems to be not doing anything other than can use all blame and all those things. They are lazy. Go ahead, doctor. Your opinion.
Yeah, me problem. Katun jamale kasi ika dua ko idingo dai karambunga banga training skill also to amanji kifena for kamani boto dunu ka ben. Of course, wo beti atale do kulomo. Bari mo because wo kela objective. Bari ning ye do kuo kefana. Let's say te farming ke ko min ko nyambo so to for government ye ma ko ye market so to mi ya long ni man ning Gambian ko man wo be san no ebul. Is a export no ye price kendol so to je. Wole atin government ani in the US ikaje ke la farmers so defend ko ke subsidize do be say jo fan ko kana bengo produce simply because he left the price they maintain la min be benefit. But ni ka fota produce yana na imang fenu set up mi yales alla ko produce vegetables jang aning atolaji am so kasanne kende ke because small ka la file healthy diets la ka soto bari ni aje obe ka soto no ni ka te la supermarket or anytime ka soto ye waste le soto mi yale ke la produce nyum preserve bari ni nyuni adada be jabo fen kai sia nanje pa tinya andum be continue la din following week na important sanyi apele Senegalese ol pele woliye ila fengolu reorient la government ye have a lot of vegetables and fruits found important from Senegal simply because ntolta minuka doku ke ningi la fengona tanaman sang abeka tinya is inayaje wati killing sarobe parin banko dula beto bari ate mela ate sotola koteke because the baby tinya la le mota preserve the maintain jabol and everything. So in general, environment, in whether it's to export or to preserve goods, warranty can make sure yela farmers will protect for the best prices. So to go be government la do what more killing to tale la farming ke then it be export market go fana kela aninka lobby on behalf of the farming community. Will be government la responsibility. Wale atinanka taxes jo. Wale atinanka more baby ka taifan sumano dada kuriye bora kan simply because nkanamo jo masakundale apuka make sure karambungo lu loptano lu silo lu mi yalo ikunkili wata kela no ika kodo min tambulu kuri sa keje so ninka kodo jo ibika ke problem obe tolle ni data prison the same can be education without government active involvement to as a community as a country abe koleal because plenty je mo killing se minke no efango ni sa te mentale fansum hospital to ni la mota ta prison ni chale ye wo damal condition or improved so benga na nyokan ngambulol ke nyokan ning areas ol min be alon be sontale ko government o mantara do ko ke kanje whether be party to mantara party to prison condition o manke mo killing na problem ni environment o be tinyala sumkan bikana ita acordado ta do to afoni ne be party so wol mu kule te mi yalon ikaje interest group all your form community yana together ya ko nying ko nying ko kele ay fali I'll say wali fendolto alla jero se falling tekela killing fendolto bar minni along albe aja nyama ko nyin government do mantara akeka nyama na karambungol mambetea na prisonol mambe nga kenyo kam nga preso ke kaje ko wali falling.
Yeah, thank you so doctor. Definitely, yemin for all Tonyati, despite ila political party affiliation, nimin desa sata mbekata at the hospital killing all the bori mantara daming, Dr. Kendall mantara daming, Jorante daming, yellow for because of the daming, do we yeta hospital all to find Dr. Taraje because of I believe lela wale befenko lela ninsalif mane wosifa kacha janne, barjanim bitala wolomu yamanjuara fanambe kontona and Sal Cham ko ako domanding ako mandia ako pay proper wages that will deprive from all type of corruption so that more se the corruption only kon Dr. Ali kan yimin for vocational training boni Gambia la vocational training fanam fangoje I woman among it wasn't tally with the skill developments mean along Bankola business sector in Bankola developments you need more of a catering nomu masin karalo mu carpentry nomu welding near jibanim bricklaying water market water market but ne ofanan jibe ofanan jamawla concentration of the banjuning combo St. Mary leto provinces have the major developments from the water me political enough award so government in funding wide varieties of like microfinance, pour banks loan but banks become loan government become more encouraged to tax tala, but the saddest part of it, the poorest of the poor, because in Gambia, we sponsor her pride bidikindi what I think. But in other, your tax me abu over so no caro from maybe so need to stop. So ni one will blame Lantonia did being lazy. Yeah, but new skill disparities and if any government is doing nothing because the amount of money for vocational training expensive. Go ahead.
Yeah, mean for because Ninko training for our skills Mapo kabiring 1960s ekaminke yapo ko carpentry ni welding ni ko vocational dore ya mutainyanta wale kala inyanta jibela le mine be caring dunia mun skills ikasula wala whether it's data related data engineering or kata cyber security stuff like that among ke dorong yeta kamol train kuriya ke carpenter ni welder those are very important barika akela is something very diverse yaje mi yalong banku dol fele even Senegal it can capitalize on a call center setup. Many other US companies use near call ke do be toll free ka information on yin can be US jam. In moka diamule do be atarabe Senegal or be India or be China. So what be mu fenne me along training yin wale atine ko keno imu angpi mu francophone country barika training sotono ka doku ke mi ya long iman bo Senegal fango ikakeno so na mol ni ba vole be training ni opportunities extend la like is something very diverse is something meaningful and then try to keep up with the times it itala kamol train doron just for put a couple of specialties ye dol today
Yeah, it is sad, really. Doctor, we will come to the brain drain because the departure of so many young Gambians, young people, progressively drain the country's life force and potential for capacity essential for building sustainable future for the Gambia, and all these, more baby Borekam Banko can funding kelo, and this funding kelo should be able to make it in the Gambia. But about the tragic death of kids, all over. Every day, someone didn't want to father, many father silo come for, as we normally call it, back way. What is your take on that? Mira, what is the whole reason, me and didn't have to risk, didn't have handing a far water, well, if it's a that is a, yes, go ahead.
Being a role sort of purka or falling. It don't be, nibe West Ojan. Saje Moina Hanaman 2 hours Kejangaita, low Lamborghini Bala or some expensive vehicle, some the Natalo key wrong impression or the Ifulango Laje. So Wolpanas a Hame, Ya Mira ko Jana Kanita take a Kodole Tombonje Dorong. Atara jang mon ka batale ka dokuol ke modol bije ka kato min ke jang ni ko ke Gambia ibitala nyatol bari immigrant ol bole nyama anyway hani minnu mu American citizen or the American natives de bijang ni tata Canada ka kato min ke je bika ka jang one thing le ka na real picture tandila ke educate ko jang manke ko ni nata dorom abanta ibe kodo kola le fenke batale jam mol ka katale wo kata kilum janni binala no jang ise wol dolu keno jana bari isalum pana kon na government dole fail nin government oliye opportunities di la kende ko ka karang ya karang sobe ke alo mimbe kerin dunia kon jama ba titala ye ta ba kon ya le be risk min nu face la je it had cross the right now ya make it out of futata Spain if that je man kaiti soto sanji jella be wole tala before bitale doku soto min ya lon ko hani ko citizenship soto dulato simply because they're black it can find very difficult purka doku soto that is commensurate with their qualifications sakoite dunje man kaiti soto man fenso be wolbe fole bari government or la role kan mote o doyandila no because for moli aje ko hope le bije tu banko kan ni aje tutaje yela university degree soto then hani feng ibika keno ila ibe minu be karango la pane kaje hani internet access ibika o fon soto no by the time it all jita it a competitive la no ni tata dokumi ni do but UK yela undergraduate soto do be Gambia la undergraduate soto ni nata nan Gambia chances are better tale o mari today because if I follow the level of education yindom ba tala no maybe I'm internet access or I'm research can and all that stuff but if kata na opportunities na government ye opportunities lafa nini instead of yet I be troller license dealer dole nana and more encourage puri family youngsters ye family troller operate jani bitala foreign people natilena expatriate or natilena to do some consulting in the Gambia. You have lots of youngsters who are very, educated. They can do, the type of research me ya lebina foreign alfela na purke joy olke. Ningam pangola molu value, whether youngsters or, in general teaching kejang ko ya biring 1990 mbaka. Bari isa jele pango situation of if ami alete min karandinu universities I take a consultant I nela banko ka yajo huge sums of money la ka think mi ya long ita fa mo karandinu ka work so mba try lele nimbe brain drain or reverse the fund the medical doctors lomu teachers lomu and all that na min ya long they are very qualified nge value kendeke na opportunities di mo la pour yeta karang sobe university ba so to la nyadi le man internet access so to kuran ka tu fala je dolu conquering o kataraje ni wo bije it I expect la wali compete no with anybody ndong ni man inani tade wo university ba ibika do ku soto no ibetar la hamel la le doron dang ko funti banko ka hana bi atare bi tala janito yalla elsewhere nu woto pour que convince ka ko je ko le atala at easy
Ate easy la. Thank you so much, Dr. Walkley Atale. Thank you, Molbe Kontona, Bama Jena Babaro Pulo Ako. I think the government need to introduce hourly wages and compulsory overtime pay. Sal Cham, once again, Ako, Senegal under President Sal is not a good example, to be honest, bro. But we don't bamfa na nyato ko mimbe leads them. Well said, and also to decentralize those skills training programs to other growth centers across the country. One biggest problem later, I think, you will go mafadang Jola Ture, Vamana brother, Jola,
nan jatiyon wolbe mun na leads jatiyon le ti ka wolle be ma min sali wolu jola nyolu nenka nyolu na jati ballo exactly Foxmouth ni leads yeah
That's very fantastic, Yes, Doctor, yemin for work mayatale. Ning ka skill center so decentralized, ka hospital can do decentralized. So funding kele se tuno ya. Because more money ya the data. I know, like ning gunjur femo baby J. Why should I go to Banjul and all those? Inte ka gunjur like.
In Bantan ole ken na tuwabe Janneh Paradise Estates, but for about 9 months I'm birin Saunta Gunjur Katara Jeleto, exclusively in Dumte, basically in Sauntale. Simply because near some, Kurano Sotataji, Silo BJ. Then, ika near G Jam Kurano Soto, of course, Gunjur Geo right now is Shula BJ. But ning government ya set up at least ning infrastructure Sotataji, Kurano Silo, and in basic medical, more better la dulato, let's add more betitala. Because see, Banjul or Greater Banjul area. So I knew okay, Banco Dula Beto, more bet Itale Kasaung, capital to near Dolu post teaching Dula Dolte Abejarle ye fun. Walmu Ibololo Mudobije because yet aje Kolea Kendo Kona Amandia. So near all decentralized services, Nyolu and infrastructure nyinga be better. That way it is la government form like for Banjul. Yet I pick up. When you sit down only online, ya download or ya fill online, ya send, but ya for it form or some, yet I do like a form or bantan. Do it is a fill only online, ya process honeyman boy note. All be important, all be on the government more on nimbi imang refresher course on ta fwe woldol di wolle along ko amanke ko foloti kata formal chika ka print ka formal sanka samba foldol be fali.
Yeah, fall be falling. I think education system nakuja mali mansakundanya ntaminkela because niaje is only 0.4% me university complete, about 2.6% completed post-secondary school, meaning certificate in diploma. So 62% of females reportedly has no schooling cap compared to might be 49% of male in that country. That's unacceptable. Ministers of motor killing, the fleet of motor me along with the celebration of motor killing are nearly over 2 million. You will drive also, yala fuel also. Yes, oddly, so the security even also will be a BJ. One motor killing the money melo, Sati Jama as a hospital equipment, like training center, low. So, they're not there. I don't think they're inexcusable.
Priorities. Priorities. But in ning call drop the next 2-3 minutes ya continue diamol ni area be wala nyama military fen kono bari ibe moyla ba. Yeah, priorities ning government o mala priorities sort of right. Ibajele be spending kela fen la mini along amamo na fa maybe fenomu courier to sort of but fen minu be last la. Education, kanying basic infrastructure ke moli. Ni ol dol ke mol se saun no dula beto banko ni ta te tol pa do ko create nte saun ta bunju nse pa ta example saun ta je bari nimbe do ku kela masongolu minu ka bohol do ku ke chainsaw tio min ben na dula clear la and mol minu be fenko kela solar panel on set up la electricity and all of that ni be ta bunjur jel hani mambo dula ko te. So near in the mall sounta no ye basic infrastructure ke ni fana tata e be opportunities they create la models do ko keno.
That's very true, really, and I only hope the government will listen to us. They will see the need because if we have to learn anything from coronavirus, we need to know that we need to develop our institutions. Because during corona hela keta dulali soronta natara nung kurando le vice president o muta nung anim finance minister corona te kerin tendu ye bondi banko ka ye samba dulado rito inate jaraji. Barbere nyum kura o keta dulali bebe soron din dunia dulal bebe soron din ye ima hospital o min fonka min care min that they have to go to those hospitals. So equally min moli la dal zulo bawo for now isela dingolita ye borindi eta banku doli to ye sabaje karangola. It's unfortunate ministry of the minister of education from buka dingo samba education karanda karamole from to mini be Gambia bari ni bondita je lami yemin fo wala tol min bija ni seytay bije ni sasa de jite sambo hospital kilingol leto ita chaos to la je and you are going to die easily but the government will kanale ka change do e bondi je kunu min ya lon ko binge mira wallon the big witch salty the big apples wall yaya jamel tan bi they are nothing ni sasa ikata wo hospital kilingol leto ibe moli kango jandi la min nako yaya is doing all the jobs ay kata woleto donc bali ami be banko kam fanay bole experience kanje so the current government min bi jem bole fole ko lumbe sila ibe moli kam fandi kam min le man so min develop la ni be betala ngata wolle ta ngata and you will suffer go ahead
ilo fa hakilo bulandi birimbe Gambia lo nga 9 months be ke nyin corona almost stop ko be intarajele biring school on surround dulal beto yari open let's say in the US and in dula kotan hani some West African countries min ya long ila internet service beteata for ila dindingol ka classes star online of course amanke koni imurunta school bari continue no ke offer classes la online instead tolla molbe sirinje imang wokeno foy ka class dol ke radio le bengete tenga man dindin jamaaje de min ya lon ke la time tay ko kata radio le to ke la moy fen kolla amanke kuti mi dalitala yes idore ko nin time from 2 to 3 grade 6 la nyanta tala radio to ke la moy ni wodi ndingol man tay ila parentol ne ko bitale ko si radio te tara class la moyo la so atarle man prepare wol bele because he man invest je internet service portal and dindingol me dalindi pour ka wol be use pour ka karandu wala be caring dunia so biring nim problem o keta it told me pango refocus no pour ka o use effectively ka dindingol karan ba keta loss ba because ntem being ka kon ka fa nyamin kan dingol ka jibe wol be min soto access to ngajen dingol wol be classes come online in the US be pengol be ke kam then dingol min be fe nyola Gambia ni nyinin ka ko radio soma 4 o'clock wara benketenti wol fa bi kata radio ten ko lamay because fen no mi yale tol ko man dalal
yes
jamale bi je nyanta min
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Dr. Ngamirebe military barakoto sa ifele ka break, so ya start like a break, my bibela area leto, so bajibela le namang suitable will go ahead, for janni betambila jela wo yalo, ikamwele doctor.
Ante kemoy, barimbo area pamole. So
that's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. Doctor, yes, Janim Bitala Fanang, we have to come back to your party, Bao Imo Anquality and towering figure in UDP and the political situation in Bao UDP is the biggest political party until today is the biggest political party in the Gambia. So we can say potentially a government in waiting, Bao political party, Wallekake Manzapundati. And some of all these things, that is likely all these messes going to come. I taralari UDP koto. Malong all preparations benyadile, malong alni youth issues I'll be addressed lanya dile. I know you have some policies that are coming on alla manifesto nimfendole, but give us a hint. At least, preparation UDP be walla, because they need to prepare. They don't have to wait until they do government kono.
Well, UDP, mini alo of course, iman la fi parti le wale kafo, ka tutulungon le la fenke bulu kosol ni pengon la bari, nimming, ye lafta, observation or sobe makela. Ye parti ni na kuolujube, dawla diam jamal meeting on kani hakim ba jela le wide range issues this but in well ahead of the next round of elections and campaigning and all of that, you'd be specific policies that are covering a wide range of areas, whether environment, youth, ICT, foreign policy, everything. They put out la mobe aje ko UDP ni winda tamman sakunda ti nyunulo musilo ti lapta min tamandila ndumbe molla carte danila, especially on the basis of that. You know, ni ko hani signing, let's say, you know, ikaminje ama amenya fa warante ma benjama sotoje. Nka oila almunya janning way before next round of the SEALA. After Patila Congress and, you know, all of that, Mba Jelale in every policy area, particularly the youth, environment, education, ICT, communication, foreign policy, security, reform, abe detailed policy positions min ya lon ko UDP ba fola ning winter mbe nyin silo no kanna that we atekela moy kumpatita fola malo ibe lorin dami hani signing model ko use as excuses bari mba make sure lale ID di nyala mi ya lon ko ndum for youth policy amanke mi ya lon ke ba lekasi somewhere e ko nyanta nyim policy lekala for, you know, mimbe youth you benefit na, you know, youth activists also tele mol min yalon, they're very educated and relatively young. Min yale ibe, you know, they're participating in this policy making process, particularly in relation to the youth. I'm so ali dol lonne but
yes.
You know, yalon wolbe benyami namanta for pare for party executive for eta ya endorse among you know party la position not but in at least ntenga minje yalon te from joined about 2 years ago, you know, but in minje ani ba do kukang, you know, and based on my experience minje in the US jampana aning dula kotengol abekela detailed policy position already covering every area and do more jamali involved Katara Yindada Kangamanke just UDP to make sure Banco Mall Fengobe cover a Manta Kelafentimi along, of course, put UDP Doromba, put Gambia Banco Bay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doctor. And I think model comments of I think Doma Turesula ako already program or lessons over the radio. The radio was not just doable. I don't know who even came up with that idea. But yeah, most of the agent convinced because Academy UDP like Salcha Baramanta Akamanta for 12 years. So probably I think among Kujama long ako UDP manke the biggest party but you know statistically by election results so far but party limbe Gambia UDP lomu the bigger party in numbers APRT the but very well bonded power you know ila fenko fenketale so far definitely in terms of statistics more to argue no by election votes, many are don't care if fight up to today. Maybe some votes up to today they are the bigger party, you know. So yes, you know, I go NPP, Nene UDP. Okay, so yes. So I know MPP Nene UDP is in Aloman Claire Baba. You need to convince me. And the first place after 12 years was the Atababa Kele. You know, Ninta Penne Amutapura Manta Campia, Alomari Obis, when Alapura has a chance to know, at least in as a contribute no as alum development of Bangkok physically, not only to hear it from people, you know, and all the move and Binala Jere Puru funding Betibabu do Walito is a meaningful way. I know Nimanke Kutimia.
Nana and Tolpa Intervella Villa Naya Scott Night annual and Kafamin Bay for Jang Najanyola. Kwa ponya mindefana yala manke mimbe sirinjang kamira mimbe Gambia bije katalenga CJ 9 months at a time ngana murunjang ngata back and forth ndonka fen jamal minufo it's not partisan stuff you know kata lole nga fen jamal kuokele ibika mo haninga party to for mention akono bari ka kepen let min ya lonko nimbe party min fanat mbe o push la mo ya lonne nimbe UDP te issues minimum concern whether prison, environment, you know, golden lead enko. Ate moja kalila koninta ta UDP metarla woku no kanne kaje ko, you know, nga jenya ming aike onya. Bari ni man lapinu UDP la before, maybe yes some reason sort of. But in the coming for any man ke party members, name party that ye la policies jube. It is a jube for based on that. Ni iketa man sakundati ye woluta man the fall move enet mi ya long a bete na fala be banko na fala or ye better alternative led. But in this mean for a wolom konata anata ibe min publish la ka tandi min program olu anin party be lorin damin dulazo. Pour que better alternative je ma fate sotola de barabe kolle ala bakele ndum ntol fana nga understand le nyimmanke jamme time ti UDP democratic le fama ba to kon ngalon ne mobe tarla no party killing mobe te jernya anin tol gunjur environment mbi jele pour que golden lead kele modol bije pour que golden lead support bari mantala ka olje kon jawolmu ka try ke convince ni doku na lon ko mo bete fengol jela no jenya kile ise minke no pour ka mo convince ka na tia wolom ka tandi ko nin tol keta man sakunda mbe nyinne kela differently min ko min bije sani ibe minke ka man bete nga tandi nin tol na taje lafta kamin bari wo be sa lon ko ite mo be sotolano ninga mo be kon sota keta 100% ifon mfon ba folele no nying problem le keta somewhere so fombe Trump la line on le use la ka fo sunyaro le keta je bari party la size kan ning election no keta wole ka akoindi mim last one no min keta aning ka national assembly la tangol jibe area regional government ol jibe UDP the biggest but nim party mi panaji kita ko etele kala the biggest election no kanala be sila ko be koel bari ntolman ta motulaje hani foni ni mol nyinin kay ba volentinin diamond right after the change ntol ni moko te ntol le tata kata campaign ke buyam nyolu anindula ko te on se sile no don ko jewo kan APRC jita betal bari something especially presidential election hani mo tanne soto adulato abeka count le as a toward a candidate. So it is all the regular ignore. Manta mo ignore la, manta region ignore la. Having policies minimum be pronounced la. Nimmo nata je ngaje fenu observe je mi along that it can improve into la positional. Manta they are not written in stone. Bitala nga assess nga penkol ke nga falling nga adapt.
Yes, thank you so much. I think Yaya Samure Ture Gunjuru,
okay.
Doctor, we do know what UDP's policies are on environment. Sal cham ako atemanta abe UK for 26 years, and Amanda for 12 years. Ngamira nana daga malalaya samba Gunjur.
Bina jile nga kama paise pa manyaonya. Yalon developed during 37 years ago in the US, 1983. So, Bodol Bijefa, you don't be well before it all be Wulula. Bari, Nka Tantan Jele for Labangola, Akake Konene Mambo Gunjur, because Dindingon Min Wuluta, well after Mbotaje, the Jamabal ni and Yolon, for Bika, Bika Muta Komim Kijanu. Ndong, ngalon ifamata je nyawnya ni tata je pour ka reconnect manta koleala molbe ma ko le integrate je easily then after a while Ebrima Janneh the vibe kanan je kameje ni nata je after a couple of months akakele ko nene mamboje ibe dindin do lon na minu ya long maybe diri bitale be doyaring fomu bari pour kata ka adapt je ibodula lomu ibe dol jela jele te sutela and all of that, but it need to adapt plan.
Yeah, Doctor, finally, time we have about 15 minutes, so but in Titala, we cannot go without doing justice Gunjur environmental issues because not only Gunjur, but environmental issues with Dula Mube in the Gambia. A lot of places are being affected among the Gunjur world, among the coastal areas, the inland also, there is a lot of environmental. Mandina Dula Jamal, me along and most of the time, mini tolu kuntita je womu nyin Chinese olleti mini ya donc not only be environment on the resources takam bari bika tax jo bari be juturin na be na moli deny great le be litulla ando masakunda evidence on there online how true they are bari mini ya lo be na be official bribe kan ku jama mantano golden leader tol fam la case bi je ba fine na here and there wo ko be nya minga jele mostly fam we katara wulo ko no be yiri tutol le nil dindingol funding kelum some of them were baba kel bari you mul ken fam bring to the dol fam ta ke di wali bari butu all the time maybe without they need so yes still or something about that environmental issue
Well, environment move me along and be concern la back. Katun konga konyami ning dulabe pollute lambe chemicals atenala sa un cordado la itadoto. Ndung minka kolendi purka community sensitized do bije wolomko nyinku do bije ika long term effects le soto. So to mol ni ya imagine cause right now pengo in sasa ndi puri na ye convince ko nying sanji lulu sanji tang nyato abeba tandila aka kolea bakele bari ni gunjur ni wo area wo coastal area nga do kubale soto kenye biol be keri ni tata dula dolto ika kenyo bile fo ika mire ka bolong kutole ka bodula betoje andung as long as small man tara steering wo area to ibika okuo impact long so nyuni ni dulado sing abota je kenyo bi yeta dulado golden lead ona ibetinya ro la nyaaw nyaay ka modan tangol minu sote ka do kuo keje modol min ya long ko ka som income soto je pour ka wol fana convince ye support aka koleal it will be ka realize minuka amount of resources being exploited ika kodo min soto ibika be long ika min soto etolio doron long long term health effect so mange problem so no challenges all soto aning government new government soto mi ya long call fana official la pocket the ninyan ta pengo enforce le ma enforce ntolti tala no ngake enforcers tim pangolo nin tata yen tol tamba court do court case kataria nin tol nga civil suit file against the company private tinyaro minkela is a drag aita on nga golden lead samba court sanya pele sanji sabahani biya be drag kam bar birin tol tata ngelo illegal pipe all bond taria yen samba court yen thank for court case that up to conclusion ntol nga o case win magistrate mi oje wolom ko Chinese or law pipe mi yake was illegal no government on yonta talo wolle no kan ko enforce instead of control mut so I will conclude but ni ma ke no be miracle on other than ka more sensitized ka pressure ke signing problem among a Chinese all forward because if any of them tatally make sure government to authorize follow biri pipe okay may authorize ntol nga wole advantage tanga bondi atata court ite mutala no because he may from bulal after the case itata the government ye license dealer authority dealer for your pipe or lay so be fengo fenke concerning government lay a support the problem is with the government to put pressure on the government bari ko information o dolmin bondi tanga je nyami ika kodo min soto je asiata then they use it to pay off officials a permanent secretary jele fango ya accused of taking bribes so many times ndu wolo mo kilingoti nimmin kamanyo la Dr. Banja every time na dia muta hanin nin Chinese wol na te bije a telephone katara comparing nkam katambi hanin nin Chinese wol fango biri woto le ngalon ko atekela no kensengeti nimba ko na nyel nim pengol be banna akwate banna no nyimba nye mimbe farin jam fenkete so biri woto le ngalon ko ke bribe len dum na do ko nyimbe ko le ala bakel bari government of anaka commission or set up ye most of the minu they are very qualified ye recommendation kendol dila kenya kasi wale kan dundi nyim problem jamal kon birim faraba incident keta ye commissioner min put together molu very able ye report that one of the recommendations was new coastal area la problem of jube aning land issues particularly ya keje from gunjur you know, yeah, mentioned in told you bela yeah, address quickly ni want a problem of the growler. Did ye nya kasi wala na gunjur berending issue sort of ye nya kasi wala na kanyin ning golden lead nyol be nyol hanim bi ni sand mining bula what in what standoff session. The world companies nyolu they are not reinvesting in their communities. What about the silo hainang sign the kajaw simply because you need container balls so every other day jama bal be bole la jana katana so it told man tara contribute kampur ka silo dada. So need that according din di permanent secretary la way wo domon to la silo li tutinyari na tu sunkan kon. Barintanga alon ni ala sonta ni UDP watarta je wato wati. Mobe atekela jakaliti ko jakali kuti ko environment nying pollution o nying sand mining and all of that you became a top priority let inte convinced our
Yes, doctor. This is sad because Ngela ye natalo in the air in the environmental damage in the water and that make me cry really. One thing nafta min clear dila javolo mu mafoko investment kana ke Gambia mol sina invest bari hani UK wolto jam dula developta alla recreational places bada aluning alla san wol mu enjoyment on hotel ni hotel and recreation areas leti wol mu industry de min ka kodo generate ko Gambia ngaji abe larin tourism le kan go wodula le nyan reserve lal nibe industry konan lole ya samba like kia wolito ye company laje industrial village so laje comme jangi ka Kenya mi bari bada ko ka take a factory olondi wo factory o mi ya lon ko I waste material especially ko waste material ta ka fay ba ko mol min bebe wodula ta ni soma min be nyanta investment na mo bi ka woke so ni ko dam no ye samba gunjura la sate le ni sifo wolite ma wulo ko ne industrial park londi je ay wala ni samba kia ma fa wala bawo jeliman develop ba to barkane na be bada to nyina o kulumbalo hayna jebe security wala be kia ko ka dina ko iben tolle ko ni kan ka tun tolle be benefit na nyine jibe hani la structure is very temporal e sula da min ni lumine bari
ni lumine nyanta tale be o be ne colonneta dun tol fana birim ba kan biringa je ko na modol nga opposition o soto je kende ke puri ila bondoje nga 10 conditions le sap nga deal birim be negotiation or start la fonga translate in Chinese from tata Google nga make so then a big English in Chinese version of it fengol ba nga minu dol ko wo pipe for me ka fengol dump je untreated waste yo bula dulal minu bolong fenyo dulal minu tinya ye fine jo pour ka dula da de nie fonyo ka okay ila waste ni ya treat in a way mi ya long ko sun kante kala je kote ke e fonga la doku lalu ya le ikakash tale doro ya dungi bulu contract je employment letter je hani koy min mu ila manager birim ben na case kan na lawyer Lamin je dabo ay nyinyi ni nka fa contract so to le hani itelo manager tika jamal le manage for Gambia nol damma ha jamal ya hani peng table in writing. So until the demand on that le puri on the working conditions. Toilet so be tije kami use no. Wodulato ila do kula condition of the suffering. So I ka employment o min create one more min be man tara wol treat kan kendek ibe silol tinya. Nko se contribute to a community fund. Me alone sa use ka school will improve health center and so on. Instead of it all kata kasika foko gamonga ko de alla celebration of gamoni call for celebration of 10,000 di ke balal and stuff ko wol 10,000 tol bo jama kamin di woka tambi wala bari jannal be dukuro kala I contribute to a fund I transparent mo be ajo ko ni amount lum community fund ya determine minimum priorities ti ka keje silo ni min fana law trokol ka a condition of jawiyandi yetara contribute la dadala ntol nga wole kuol noka
Mm. That's it's crazy, really. Dr. Allah Baraka, an environmental organization, the youth all mini bedo ko la be hero fila. About na environment or akatada me is almost heading to irreparable. Damages abe min ke kanje bare alba kata kanga nim dindingol min be on the ground. Pur hero fi ka follow up fadan ka wo hero tutu and wato wati wulita ini bebe nyo kandulato ibika long.
Kata bakele de Suleiman Nyolu, Suleiman kata Ahmed Manjang, even though Jamaba man taraje ala Janneh na ka try ka more motivate from Abedauda, Omar Diamond Nyolu. Jamaba Gunjur kan youngsters min baby many of them environment la concern le kata tree planting la kata beach cleaning la kata in sand mining dulalu Jube. It cuts across party lines. Nita dol side NPP, dol UDP, dol also. But the environmental issues can mobile, can killing water.
Yeah, Dr. Finally, I think in Ahmed Manjai Ning forum do form a couple of bit youths because the crime rate mean be bad to all the foreign people maybe it needs to be controlled, but you want to bit use ke puro at least minika gunjur dingol min bije ka do ko ke je e ka nyim bomsal ka fo wallan ke modar rastamanol but we want to make them useful. Hopefully ni Ahmed nyoja be la kumol pola la police bada control no some of the things mean illegally be happen kanje sate more because we need to control that place for I gunjur na I mol fanan na pa. So hopefully ni a chance to need that you will engage with the Bunama Jata Wali Sanya say Sanya Wali and many be bad out in the do ko the Pakarim Boja Wall police is a cool control nyami.
Your project Molu, Jenny Yolu, Aladi Kapu Yolu.
Aladi Kapu specifically, definitely, and all the youths. And in Purka toilet facilities, all ke jenga mire both on discuss kanye Purhan na be jo abekela jo leti pur mol kanata the outside here and there. These people, ninge engage mfano just not because of stigmatized because less about rasta. We shouldn't do that. Once they enjoy, they will be very effective in the environment of finance clean. So the business in the Olympic BJ Sunkang Olin Fendol in Sol Talano. I think once he engaged some of the things will happen kanje will be talala baba bakele. But once again, betten to the doctor, time moments we want to do this. I seem to we have to cut this, definitely the leader. So control number doctor la final lesson advice abe min dila na sa control min bijang ngalo ne nyin to bi ko niya ko mol ka ko ite kamine si jam pour sa try no the way jibe nyami pour bana at some point is the say with all our experience in share with people might be the environment man conducive for nyama abi janyani bari nyim bankol fanang ila banko dingol le sita jang itada dunia ko ne skill wala je nata murundang ye bankol dada control finance work and then finally the left arguments is the youths are responsible government policies only youth all fail the right argument was youth only family fail because iman so katala Dr. Ahmad Isa saying is a close ni wala yela opinion for them regular been working for a long time.
Well, follow Wolomko, Hana Tarebe overseas, whether US, Europe, is a participate knowledge effectively in falling min bebe caring or purka falling on ati Bangkok. Na jele corona wato Kamasco distribute much of the funding but a mol min be overseas ka kodo kina Kamasco mol Kamasco ta ka distribute kama nolu ta example ta tol fongola sate to jesuma ay kodo kilo kila en kumandi doron jesuma sise en kumandi dora ko nyen lafta boto talulu ya distribute gunjurje ay ala moki ta butiko te joroke na 50 bags ta nala mota na video nga distribute nda man traje andum jamela kelof ana ali ajele mo jama atol min baby jam contributor kanin unification or promote for falling on nata So science obe continue no, even though amanke jamneti modo bije, amanke always come as akunda falling the doromu. But if femu, whether it's the environment or creating a better creating better communities, hanim be bantala nse okenol. Bari pour kanana fana important, especially bari yalo mol timing among mol timing or mang killing. Bari fana sinano je hana tara ila say wato mansi kanana kaje kuolbe nyami wobe inspire to do even more. So baringalo ne konyi next 1 year, about 12, 13 months abe crucial Gambia bakele, because electoral contest all be sotola miya along abe country la destiny in shape la. Hopefully, yantam UD built, of course, so nimantara diamukampurka impartial or anything. Hopefully UDP be win la le isagency new constitution sort of katunte puruka jamela nying constitution e tarang govern la womu disaster leti ka jamme bondi hanimbi ka netalo je kodol bala hanimbi atella constitution obije and all of that wolmu fennet mi ya long we have to do away with. So ning ngaje ko government to warrant some aspect of our communities mantara tamaka nyanta kuode kala. So that means for those of us in the diaspora, the Ninube diaspora, make sure the right to vote and to participate at every level of the political process, regardless of party, because it contribute la falling auto, not a rate man vote, no, not a rate of no candidate. But it might be control na baraka baki Ebrima.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Baraka ngebula iteta, final word walom the Doctor Tempulamba Jaila. Even though I talk the whole day, Ali Ajela Kabo warehouse photo, even with his doctorate degrees and with each age, the warehouse or a container wall tala be lot la, but even that a program or talamba Tempulamba Jaila, men Lamoira Tempulambe Jaila. Na background staff sol fanang mimang na boss Lamin Janneh aning na boss Kandembo bebe Tempulambe Jaila alman beso la simani jati kende ala soma nadia ta ala. We have another program me along. We will talk about the Black youths in celebration of the Black History Month, around Prophet Muhammad, in the City Ali Sotola Janneh, possibly, very likely, be apply Bojang Sotola Janneh, apply Bojang incarnation, Hata Bojang incarnation, Puru Afanambe join and Kanena Diat Alai, so Wolfanang Kachawo, Kake every Thursday, there was series, and we did Bilal, we did Said, and possibly tomorrow we will do Lukman. So nearly a chance so you can listen and imam millom foloto na kandilal ma minni foalie mo buga mo fingoli toli fo misil mo la foundation auto when you realize ko one more fingol wolle fa sutiyata Prophet Muhammad la wolle na batate kuja market together then in model mean celebrate today. So Soma Imam Sidi Ali will be here. It's likely, very, very likely, Sheikh Abdullah Bojang, will Mojamama Lombari, Hata Bojan Dimma, will be here and we will discuss about those topics. Once again, back Tentulambal Jaila, be more be Tentula Alaman Lasuto Dia. Allah Barakaw. Thanks.